This is Snailbrook, Texas, a new planned community outside of Austin that Elon Musk is building for employees at his Tesla, SpaceX, and Boring companies. And this is Starbase, a rocket development site and another new Musk city with housing for SpaceX employees, located outside of Brownsville, Texas. Recent construction at both of these sites has led to speculation that Musk is building company towns.
We think that this big brother-like control that's associated with company towns is un-American. History shows that that has been a big part of American industrial history.
Here's why Musk might be looking to the company town model for his properties in Texas.
My wife and I bought this property about 10 years ago. We originally came for the nature and the privacy and the peacefulness.
This is Chap Ambrose. In 2021, Elon Musk's Boring Company bought the 70-acre cow pasture that sat below Ambrose's property.
I am a fan of Elon Musk. I think a lot of what he does is really cool and inspiring.
Such a fan, in fact, he even owns a remote-controlled Cybertruck. But Ambrose quickly soured on his new neighbors.
It's been a radical change since they moved in. They really are building a shipyard in the middle of a prairie.
And that's not all they're building. As first reported in the Wall Street Journal in March, in meetings with landowners and real estate agents, Musk and his employees describe a vision of a utopia along the Colorado River. Here in Bastrop County, approximately 45 minutes outside of Austin, SpaceX is building a 500,000 square foot facility. Across the street, Boring is building a new warehouse. Snailbrook is already home to some Musk employees who live in modular homes. There's also a pool, an outdoor sports area, and a gym. Plans suggest the site will eventually have 110 homes, and Boring plans to convert one into a Montessori school. As of last year, Boring employees could apply for a home with rents starting at about $800 a month for a 2 or 3 bedroom in Snailbrook. The median rent in Bastrop is about $2,200 a month. For his part, Ambrose welcomes the economic impact that Snailbrook's residents will bring to the area. His primary concern is how the development could affect the local groundwater.
If you sit out and watch the work they do, they're not careful.
Recently, Boring applied to state environmental authorities to discharge up to 140,000 gallons of industrial wastewater a day into the Colorado River. Since beginning construction, Boring has received multiple violations from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. Ever since Musk's companies moved in next door, Ambrose has been documenting the development.
I'm concerned they're going to continue to break those permits. I mean, they are moving so quick, 1 week to the next, it can be a radical difference.
Musk tweeted that the March Wall Street Journal article that broke the news about Snailbrook was false, but he has not specified what in the piece was incorrect. Furthermore, the idea that Musk would create his own town isn't far-fetched.
Sometimes there's that new neighbor that everyone can't stop talking about, for better or for worse.
In 2021, the billionaire announced he was building the city of Starbase, which Musk envisions becoming a major spaceport. Starbase is being built on Boca Chica Village, a seaside hamlet surrounded by a wildlife refuge, located about 25 miles outside of the southeastern Texas city of Brownsville. SpaceX has not officially incorporated Starbase, but since 2012, the aerospace company has been buying up the area's pre-existing homes and turning them into employee housing. Much like Snailbrook, Starbase's development attracted scrutiny from residents, concerned that SpaceX's expansion will come at a steep price to the local environment.
You load 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt.
In 1947, country singer Merle Travis immortalized the exploitative nature of company towns in his song 16 Tons, about the life of a Kentucky coal miner.
I owe my soul to the company store.
People tend to think about a town where the company owns everything, where the company has built all the housing, there's a company store. And many of these coal mining towns, people were not paid in American currency. They were paid in company-issued money that's really only good at the company store.
Author Hardy Green has written extensively about the history of company towns.
There is no strict definition of company town. A company town, there's really only one company that dominates, but beyond that, there's a wide range. Some towns are more restrictive, more exploitative, and others are more caring and paternalistic.
The more exploitative company towns, like the one referred to in Travis's song, tended to be communities based around a single resource.
Coal towns or extractive industry towns tend to be a little bit like, prison camps.
Like Snailbrook and Starbase, many of America's oldest and best-known company towns, like Pullman, Illinois, and Hershey, Pennsylvania, were created by wealthy industrialists who envisioned idyllic communities for their employees.
Utopian ideals have figured prominently in a number of company towns.
Milton Hershey built his chocolate factory complex in rural Pennsylvania. To attract employees to what was then a remote location, Hershey constructed a town.
Workers were allowed to buy the housing. They're fairly well paid. The houses come with central heating and plumbing.
But Milton Hershey's relationship with his employees soured. In 1937, Hershey's workers organized the company's first labor union and went on strike. That's a common theme in the history of many company towns. Like Hershey, Pullman, Illinois was a paternalistic company town that had housing, stores, a library, and churches. But Pullman, like Hershey, eventually ran into trouble. In 1894, Pullman cut jobs and wages, sparking a violent workers' strike.
It started off being an experiment that the founders thought would be a kind of paternalistic place, but it didn't work out.
According to Green, Musk's towns somewhat resemble the paternalistic company towns of old.
Yeah, you could argue that Musk is employing a kind of a throwback idea of starting from scratch in an undeveloped area.
An undeveloped area that is being developed quickly, even as it is under the close watch of Chap Ambrose.
We're not anti-growth, we're not anti-Elon, but we are pro-clean water. And unfortunately, those opposing forces seem to be coming to head for some reason.
Whether Snailbrook or Starbase will avoid the pitfalls of previous company towns remains to be seen. Neither have yet been incorporated, so technically neither exist in a legal sense. But if Musk does decide to incorporate either town, that shouldn't be too difficult. In Texas, as soon as a community has 201 residents, it can petition to incorporate.